How's it going, everybody? Welcome to T3G. My name is Harris, and today we are going to be doing a review of a mid-tower case. As you can see, it is from Nanoxia. It's a new company I've never heard of before. The coloring here shows that it's black, but it's actually a white case that we're doing on. As you can see, it's a deep silence case according to their labeling, and it's the next generation of PC cases. Pretty much that's the box, and we're going to go ahead and start the review. And there's the box, or there's the case, should I say. And here it is. It's very simple case, very clean lines to it. Personally, I like that about cases. I like clean lines. As you can see, it is a white case, like I said. Now, we're going to start off here on the front. I'm not a big fan, I'll tell you this right off the bat, of doors on the front, but the way this one's designed is actually not too bad. I just had a lot of bad experiences with doors, and personally, without the doors, it's just easier to get to the optical drives and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and continue on. So this door here is top door. As you can see, it's separate from the bottom. It is padded with a foam, 3 optical drive bays, fan controls, a reset button, and the power button is actually right here on the top, just a circular button with a circle ring around it that lights up. So yeah, 3 optical drives, nothing too crazy. The door actually feels pretty sturdy. It is magnetic too, so it holds the door actually to the case fairly decent. Foam, keep it silent, of course. And then the bottom here, same thing, magnets on the sides, foam. And then this is going to be your 2 fans. And what's nice about this is actually also comes with fan filters here, and they're just regular doors that you pop open. 120 millimeter fans on the front, and let's see here if I can get this. And the fans just come out like that, very easy to clean, and then you just put them right back on. Personally, I believe all cases nowadays, I think this should be a feature for the filters. You know, I don't know if you're like me, but I hate to clean out the dust, and as much as I can do to prevent it by getting, you know, these filters with the cases, that definitely is awesome. And also continue on while we're looking at the front. At the top here, you can see we have some USB ports, 2 USB 2.0, 2 USB 3.0, headphone, and also as well as your microphone. And then there's the power button with the ring around it, like that lights up green. What's nice about this is you can't hide it, but the only problem is it doesn't feel too sturdy. It actually feels like it might break fairly easily. So that's kind of a disappointing point up here. So we're going to keep this open when this case is going to be used. Let's go ahead and turn this around. And as you can see, there is no window on this case, which is not bad. Depends if you want a window or not. It's really up to you, since this is a silent case. Of course, this is going to be a padded on the other side, so that way it keeps it as silent as possible. Also, as well as you can see here, there are vents for those fans so they can get air. So there are fans, or the slots there, so the air can actually go in. And also as well, if you see this tab here, this is to lift up the cover that's on the top here. That keeps it, also gives it that more silent feature for the fans up top. So if you want it closed to keep it silent, you can. If you want to open it, you can, and get some air either out or in, depending on how you're facing your fans. Side cover, this fan here is 120 and or 140 millimeter will fit on here. There's no fan included. On this end, you can take this off, so that's not a problem. This is more if you don't want a fan here and want to keep it silent, you leave this on. Thumb screws, of course. But let's go ahead and finish up. The outside, and then we'll go on the inside. Thumb screws on the back, both sides. This side of the case and this side of the case, very easy to come off. I/O shield, 120 or 140 millimeter fan, grommets for water cooling if you want to have your radiator on the outside of the case. Some more ventilation, which is not bad. Bottom mounted power supply, as you can see here. Also as well, what's nice is does come with a filter on the bottom too, which is also another thing that I believe all cases should come. I have seen cases that do not include this, which I don't understand. And then the other end, of course, very plain, and you can see there's on this side as well vents for the fans. So let's go ahead and turn this back around, and the feet are actually, there is rubber on them, so they don't slide as easy. And they are on there, and it does help out as well. Let's go and get these off. And as you can see, this is actually not foam, it's like a thick rubber mat, pretty much like a mouse pad would have actually. And it's very, very nice. The actual rigidity of this and this, pretty much how well it's made is very good. There is a filter here. I'm assuming you can actually use this filter with the fan that you're going to be putting on here, which is quite nice. Like I said, it's got holes for 120 and 140 millimeter. And that's it for that. And continue on the inside, and you'll see we've already actually done a build on this, and you know, it kind of helps us out. You can see how everything fits. The way we have the power supply mounted here, we're drawing air from the bottom, and as you can see, it fits everything very well. It's got a grommets on the inside to, you know, hide the wires better, which I like it. It's very nice and appeasing, and does hide the wires. It does help out. White inside, which also another thing I want to see on current cases that are being released. If you don't have a black or white paint inside, you just have aluminum, normal metal. That's kind of disappointing when I don't care if the case is $50 or $100 or more. That should be just something standard. As you can see here, continuing on, we have 8 drive bays. I mean, if you need hard drive space, this definitely can fit up to 8 hard drives. These are very nice, very easy. They actually pop right in. They hold pretty well. And as you can see here, there's actually rubber grommets for the mechanical drives to keep it, obviously, for the silent feature. You screw in the hard drive, so they're not toolless, but I actually don't mind that at all. So what you're going to do is they provide you with the screws. You're going to use the screws to mount the mechanical hard drive, and it will keep it silent when it's moving around, because mechanical drivers have obviously movable hardware in there, and they will vibrate. This obviously prevents from any noise being made. Also as well, these will fit, as you can see here, 2.5 hard drives, which we already have here. Here's a mechanical hard drive, and right here is an SSD, and those are on there. As you can see also as well, that actually just pops right in. Continue on, graphics card wise, I mean, this is a standard ATI, excuse me, ATI 5770. I mean, this is pretty much a reference style card. It's fairly long, as you can see, can clearly fit it with no problems. I know the 7990 is insanely long. If you do have a card that's longer and it does not fit due to power supply wiring, you can actually remove these bays. I won't be doing that in this video, but you will be removing you can remove this bay to get that extra room. What else we got? Let's see here. We got a 140 millimeter fan, as I stated before. It does not light up. None of these fans light up. 140 millimeter fan included with the case, 2 in the front, and that's it. There's actually none in the top there, which I'm a little disappointed with the fans that are included. But I guess if you know, if you're a modder or somebody that creates their own builds, then you'll probably be getting better fans than what are included in some of these cases. But for some people, they obviously would like to see them already included and available. Really, that's really about it. That's what you're gonna get for this case. This case was $120, $130 on Newegg. And I will say this, actually, and we will go on the other side as well, but I will say this, for $130, I would probably get a different case. In my opinion, this wasn't for me. This was for somebody else that's going to be using this. I do like the clean of it, but there are quite a few things, you know, I like the clean lines, but there are a few things that are actually disappointing to me. For instance, the way these panels go on, they're actually not too well. These right here, for the top here, they actually are fully put on there, so you actually cannot easily mount these back on there, especially on the other side where the wires are, where you're routing the wires and hiding it. I'll show that in a second. So that's actually one of the biggest disappointing things. This up here for the USB, like I said, it feels very fragile, I would say. It's stiff when you're pushing it down, but you can tell that the mechanism that, you know, holds it down, clicks it in and clicks it out is not working properly. So and I don't think it's a defective case. I think this just was not a smart design for something that has cables connected to it to go in and out. I think they should have just kept that out in the open. And then I will show you guys And actually, I did forget to mention, this has 8 slots for PCI, so you do have plenty of spots. And I will show you the back here real quick. Let's get this taken off. Also as well, same material as on the front. It's like I said, mousepad material, very thick, very good. A little bit of flex, but not too bad. A few things wrong on this part. Like I said, the panel, the way it slides on, is not very easy to put it back on when you have cabling on the back. But I will say this, I do like the big CPU cutout. I think this should be standard on all cases. Some people don't always get an aftermarket cooler right off the bat. When you want to put a new one in, it is a pain to rip out a motherboard and then put that cooler in and put the motherboard back in. That's a pain. I believe the CPU cutout should be big, so that way if you do get a cooler and it requires a new back plate, you have the option to do it while the motherboard's inside the case. Like I said, panel going in also as well. I believe there should be more space here. You know, you can fit your finger, pretty much one finger in there, which is kind of disappointing. I know it's a mid-tower case, but I feel like that should be bigger, especially with all the cables that you route nowadays in the back to make it all clean. Everybody does this. So that is going to be my other pretty much gripe about this case. But honestly, that actually ruins cases for me. When there's not enough room and I have to somewhat use some kind of pressure or force to put on the back panel, and it's not easily done, that always ruins it for me. I know the cable management isn't the greatest back here, but really it's more for the front than it is for the back for me. I tried my best, but this is the best I could do. And I will show you guys how actually I have to put the panel down. So you won't be able to put the panel, the back panel on vertical. You actually have to put the case down very slowly. And then you have to put the panel on and just give it now the actual wires aren't really putting that much force, but enough for it to not properly slide on to get all these tabs in their slots. So you have to hold it down with a little bit of pressure on pretty much all of it, so that way all of them are going in properly, and you slide it on, and that's how it's going to work. So that's due, like I said, because there's not enough room between the flat plate here and how much room it gives you where the panel goes on. Personally, I feel like since this is they might not be a new company, but they're newer to me. I haven't seen this name before. I'm used to Thermaltake, Cooler Master, Corsair, NZXT, you know, all the brands that everybody else knows. Like Nanoxia is a newer brand for me. I've never heard of it. This is the first case I've seen. I really was hoping that for a new case, an issue like this wouldn't be there. So that really ruins the case for me quite a bit, especially somebody who likes to keep everything clean, routed in the back. But overall, I mean, overall it's a decent case for the price. I would definitely not pick this up. I would probably go with something like a Corsair case that's a mid-tower. Those seem to be a lot better in design, especially for cable management, and personally just the design overall for those type of cases. I feel like the quality is a little bit better than this, so for that kind of money I would definitely go with either a Corsair. Actually Corsair, yeah, that would be the best. I have been using a Thermaltake. My cases that I use is a Cooler Master and a 932 HAF, an old one, and also a Thermaltake Speedo, so I can't really say much, but I would definitely recommend. I've had my share, I've worked on a share of Corsair cases, and personally I would, for that kind of money, I would buy a mid-tower Corsair case. And that is it. That is my review on this Nanoxia. Look out for more reviews. We'll be releasing reviews on a daily basis throughout the week, and hopefully get more tech reviews to you guys. So we'll see you next video. Also, I did want to point out, I noticed I missed these here are thumb screws. They're not toolless either. Personally, that is better. in my opinion also as well. I've dealt with toolless and it's very pain and annoying, it never works. So I like the thumb screws the best. That's personally the best option you can go with. The only toolless thing on here is the optical drives, and you can actually remove these as well and use screws. I did on this case decide to go with the toolless. With this I'm not as worried, but with the actual hard drives and with the graphics card I prefer the screws. So just want to point that out too.